This is the current stage that I'm in right now with testing. Well, I kind of know what I want to do now, but testing different compressors and mixing them and trying to find out what works best as far as the mastering stage goes. Every album I do is different. I don't keep the same settings for any records, so you'll notice that each album kind of sounds, well, vastly sounds different from each other because I like to start over. But I'm getting so far into the game now, so late into the game, that I think I'm just going to develop a system and stick with it because it's just so time consuming to try to make my records sound like a different producer did it each time. I mean, it's always me, but maybe it'd be good to just develop a flavor. So instead of doing iZotope Ozone, oddly enough, that's powered by iZotope, but I usually use iZotope Ozone, but I'm actually using Adobe Audition, their compressor, and I've got, this is what I call it, Surveillance, because I think I'm going to call it Surveillance State, the record, but I call it Surveillance Master Comp. It's pretty light. It's got a ratio of 2.3 to 1. The attack is a bit high, but it works. Attack and release 24 and 17. So what I'm doing right now is, so I apply the tube model compressor, then I copy it, then I undo the tube model compressor, then I mix the compressed signal with a bit of the uncompressed signal, and this is my cheat sheet. I go into the car I do the car test with the CDs and stuff. Tube model comp, surveillance master, then blend. Most of them are sitting at about 60%, which are on this side. And then I've got some where I did several, and then I did the listening test, and most of them ended up being 60% blend, and then some of them are better, 40%, 50%. This one's 48%. 10% is one of them. So I blend the compressed signal with salt is 50. So I'm going to go 50. I blend the compressed signal with the uncompressed signal because I don't want, too much pump. I think that kills the audio. It kills the music. I've got a couple peaks here. I want to try to fix that. Got a couple peaks that are just kind of hiding out here. Not a fan of that. I'm going to take that down by a little bit. Make sure that doesn't sound unnatural. Yeah, that's my whammy going absolutely nuts. And so it's that shrill piece. That's the whammy. So we're gonna see if we can, it's loud, so I'm gonna decrease the volume on my thing here. Oof. That's bad too right there. Take that down a little bit. Actually a little bit more than that. That way it kind of hides in there. This is like the, I don't know what these lines are. This is like the very, very this is where it gets really surgical. It gets really surgical at this point. Before it always goes from broad to surgical, or broad to persnickety, and then it goes to surgical with some of the things. With any luck, I mean, this late in the game, how long I've been doing this, I don't have to do so much surgical stuff anymore, but occasionally, like I said, I couldn't really control this because it was it's a whammy pedal, and some of the octaves that I was hitting, way up high, screechy, and so that causes some issues. And what would happen is if I didn't fix that before I went into the normalization and hard limiting phase, is it would peak and then it would clip really hard and you would get a very ear-piercing type of screech, and nobody likes that because then it clips on top of sounding nasty. So we do a little bit of that, and it sounds pretty good. This is Of No Consequence back here. That's just a little extra riff. We're just gonna cut that out of it. That was part of the mix down. There we go. And these again, these are card tests as well. It's not the final, but just in case it is, that way I have this down pat and it's done. Yep, that's how. And then we've got a little peak here. That shouldn't be too bad. So then we're gonna save as, I've got a million folders. It's my ADHD at work. I'm a good organizer, but I'm a good organizer, but not until I decide to actually sit down and organize things. So luckily I use dates, so dates help me not get things confused. There's literally hundreds of files that are pretty much the same thing, just different EQs. So we're gonna do this with one more, and then I'll cut the video. Tube model compressor again. Surveillance state, the song is at 60. So we're gonna go copy. Again, most folks don't really go into this much depth as far as, what did I just do? Okay, we're good. As far as like mix pasting, dry signal versus wet signal, but the pros would, and I'm very, very perfectionistic about my music, so this is the race I run. And so surveillance state. Okay. And I give it a little volume boost just so I'm not cranking the volume in my car, but I keep it well below the threshold where this is right up here. That's where it would clip. So I keep it well below the threshold, and then when it comes time to actually set the level of the overall record, that's when I'll start pumping up the volume. But oops, let's go here. Yeah, I'm gonna cut that gap out. It doesn't take forever for it to start. Yeah, so I sit here and I do this for hours a day. It is a thankless job, and I don't get paid for it. But it's like my passion. I say that kind of hesitantly. Sometimes the joy is just gone out of it. But so anyways, this is just one of the final stages before the album goes live. Look for it in about a month.